everybody, and welcome to our pitch sessions here at Change Now. We're super excited to have you here. My name is Emily Johnson. I'll be your host for the upcoming session, and we're going to be hearing pitches for solutions on the topic of mobility. We know that the use of personal cars is creating a lot of issues for our environment. And there's so many other solutions out there for how we can get from A to B in a way that's healthier and more sustainable. And that's what our session right now is all about. We're going to be hearing from 10 solutions. And in between, we'll have some questions and answers with our jury who are here at the front. Now, there's no specific prize at the end, but the jury, just for you to know, you should have received a QR code so you can also vote for your favorite solution. And everybody else, we're really happy to have you here. And if you want to ask questions of the solutions, you can do so at the end as well. Now, I want to hand over to the jury to briefly introduce yourselves. So you can just stay seated. You can turn around and say hello to our audience. And let us know, what are you looking for in the pitches today?
Climate and resources, and we invest from 3 to 10 million in all of Europe, mainly France, but all of Europe as well. And any technology or any services that can help curb the gas emissions will be of interest for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Quentin. So I'm Mathieu Chanville. Nice to be with you today. I'm a co-founder and managing partner at Shift for Good, venture capital fund, Article 9, so an impact fund, environmental impact, focused on mobility and circular economy. 70% of investment in Europe, 30% Southeast Asia, US. So we are looking for sustainable mobility solutions. Ticket size 3 to 5 million for first investment, and in total up to 20 million per investment line. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matthias. I'm with Rethink Mobility. Rethink Mobility is an emerging early-stage venture capital fund focusing exclusively on mobility tech and new business models in Europe. So happy to work with you.
Great to have you here.
Mary, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alexis Offageld. I work for Michelin. I'm the head of Moving On Lab, which is an ecosystem fostering sustainable mobility solutions. So we are happy to work with startups in all the ecosystem to find new solutions in ecosystem.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very pleased to be here. I'm Pierre Deron from the Cleantech Open France. So we have, since 2010, developed and animate an ecosystem that with 550 startups in the cleantech, we are providing cleantech solution for climate change and environmental change, and 100 partners, both private and public, together with us to animate this ecosystem.
Thank you all very much for being here with us today. And now it is time to dive straight into the heart of this session, which is all about hearing from the solutions. They'll have 3 minutes to pitch. It's not a lot of time. It's going to go quickly, and they've got to capture the essence of what it is that they want to do. So we're going to first hear from Swobbee, and they are a decentralized safe charging solution from a single source. Welcome to the stage. Take it away.
Can you guess how many light electric vehicle batteries exist today in Europe alone? 30 million. And this number is going to increase 6-fold until 2030. Today we have a boom in electric micromobility, but no charging infrastructure. So there are more and more electric bikes and scooters, but we lack a universal solution to safely charge all these batteries. This connects to 5 problems. First, we have fragmentation. There's no standard battery type, and that makes it a challenge to serve all batteries. Next, it's expensive to use warehouse space for charging. And the same goes for purchasing batteries, which today make up to 40% of the vehicle purchasing price. Then charging is often not monitored, leading to safety issues if batteries heat up uncontrolled or even worse, start burning. Then limited battery capacity and long routes to swap batteries lead to vehicle downtime, something that's detrimental in businesses like logistics or quick commerce. And last, we have range anxiety, with riders fearing that their vehicles run out of juice and they have to interrupt their trip. So how are we solving these problems? Swobbee is the first multi-modular battery swapping station with an open system. This makes us compatible with many different battery types. We reduce costs by providing a network of battery swapping stations so that warehouse space is freed up. And we also provide a pool of rental batteries so that customers don't need to purchase batteries. Our stations monitor charging 24/7. We boost uptime and we eliminate range anxiety by giving access to fully charged batteries wherever they're needed. So this is how we meet the key needs of customers, that are cost reductions, safety, uptime, limitless range, and access to locations across Europe. And of course, we also have a software solution that is the backbone to our hardware. We have two business models for B2B, charging as a service, where customers charge their own batteries in exclusive stations in a pay-per-swap model, and battery as a service, where customers share a pool of rental batteries in a monthly subscription and with constant access to the network of swapping stations. Naturally, we're not doing this alone. We have strong partnerships with location partners like BP and Apcoa, OEM partners like Segway, Ninebot and Okai, and we work with the leading battery manufacturers. And most importantly, we have a fantastic team of 40+ mobility enthusiasts based out of Berlin. Finally, we believe that clean, accessible, and affordable energy is not just a future, but a basic right for everyone, everywhere. So if you're curious about Swobbee, please come talk to me after the pitch and join us in leading the battery swapping revolution. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, and next up, we've got Miivo Mobility, who are fostering sustainable mobility through unification and gamification.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Adrià Aguado, and this is Miivo Mobility, the app that will change the way people move around the cities. How? Miivo is a mobility as a service application that unifies all sustainable mobility options in a single platform. Moreover, we offer a gamification system that, through incentivations and rewards, gamificates and incentivates people to use more mobility options, reducing the CO2 emissions. And last but not least, Miivo creates the most personalized routing tool, adapting the interface to the needs and circumstances of each user, adapting to different times and different circumstances of each user. Which is our business model? We use a B2B2C in order to make this great idea a profitable startup. How does it work? We take the payments from our users directly through our app, and we transfer 96% of these payments to our mobility operators, charging them with a 3 to 4% commission for each trip done in Miivo. One of the Miivo's biggest or strongest points is its high scalability. For this reason, our expansion plans will take Miivo to such important cities as Barcelona, Paris, or London, enabling us to target a total achievable market of 375 million euros in 2025. Moreover, Miivo is more than just numbers. Miivo is equal to sustainability. According to our estimations, with a base number of 10,000 users, we are able to reduce 8,500 tons of CO2 per year. So imagine if, with the scalability that I just mentioned, we could provide this solution to millions and millions of people that will implicate millions of CO2 tons reduction. And why do we have these estimations, and why do we trust so much our application? First of all, because of our past. Because we have shown our ability to grow step by step, but steadily. From winning international challenges to win more entrepreneurship challenges, or even be evaluated for the EA2 Euro mobility solutions. This took us to our present, which is a current mobility as a service application with all the transport public of Valencia inside of our application, with more than 800 current users, and the trust and the confidence of startups, so big startups like Gorillas, Coltra, or Free2Move, but also a huge community in social media with more than 2,500 people. With this past and this present in mind, we are 100% of our future, which is meant to be integrating more and more sustainable mobility options like scooter sharing or moped sharing, but also to expand regionally, nationally, and internationally to take our solution to all Europe. And second, we trust a lot in ourselves because of our dream team. Because we have the passion and intelligence of Angel and Alex to develop all business parts of Miivo. Because we have the talent and the experience of Sergio and Ivan to develop a powerful technological stack. And we have the creativity, the unleashed imagination of Pascual to bring life to Miivo in the design. So it doesn't matter if you are an investor, if you are our next collaborator or next user, what are you waiting to join Miivo? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I can take that. All right, and straight on to the next one with Popion Mobility.
All right, good morning. My name is Geoff. I'm representing Popion Mobility and here to introduce you to their battery swapping solution platform, particularly dedicated to medium and heavy duty commercial trucks. Think about it. Almost everything we eat, everything we wear, everything you see around you today, and everywhere you live has once come on the flat bed of a commercial truck. Why is this a problem? This is only 4% of the vehicles on the road today, and yet their impact in terms of CO2 emission is as large as all the personal transportation cars that you and I drive, assuming you're driving a combustion engine still, right? In the US, this is 100,000 well-identified trucks in about 100 corporate fleets. Each of those trucks emits about 200 to 300 metric tons of CO2 per year. Do the math, and you're talking now about 20 to 30 million metric tons of CO2 that we're planning to decarbonize simply. The problem today is that there is no alternative. This is why you do not see medium and heavy duty electric trucks on the road. There is no alternative that allows you to reach what matters the most for fleet operators, which is the total cost of ownership. This is the only KPI that matters. Get them by the money. So you either have very large battery trucks a la Tesla Semi, which are going to take some time to recharge and necessitates a lot of infrastructure for megawatt chargers and are quite expensive, or hydrogen, same problem of a centralized manufacturing and distribution of energy. The battery swapping solution, managing smartly the batteries, the vehicle, and the station, allows you to simply refill your energy need in less time than you need to fill it with diesel, for example, and at a fraction of a cost, simply because you will at any point in time carry only the amount of battery that you strictly need to reach your next charging station, and all, of course, what you need to do in between, right? So instead of the cost of a battery representing 25 to 45% of the total cost of a truck, if you need only half of that, you already decrease substantially the cost of ownership. Our technology is brand agnostic. We will take any vehicle, diesel, whatever the brand, and convert it to electric. This is easy. We will add our battery housing into it and provide you with the batteries as well as the swapping station, which in a second generation will be automated. Come and visit me at the stand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. There'll be time for Q&A to come as well, so you'll have a chance to still answer questions. Thank you so much. Okay, next up we've got Qaptis, who captures CO2 emissions from the exhaust of heavy vehicles.
Thank
you.
Okay. Hi everyone, so I'm Theo, co-founder and CEO at Qaptis. And at Qaptis we're building a device that will help the freight industry to drastically reduce its carbon emission and meet its climate targets. But the first question is, why are we focusing on the freight industry? Let's take the example of the European trucking industry. This sector is very far from achieving its climate targets. McKinsey highlighted that 120,000 low carbon emission trucks are annually missing each year on the road for the path to decarbonization. And the reason is simple. The current proposed solution, hydrogen and electric, are facing three main barriers. The first one is the uncertainty related to the technology. The second one is a lack of infrastructure, because we do not have to change the technology on the fleet itself, but there's also the whole supply chain behind. And finally, the high cost. Today, electric or hydrogen vehicles are 5 to 6 times more expensive than a conventional diesel truck. So that's why we come up with our solution. So we retrofit existing trucks with our CO2 capture kit that can capture up to 90% of carbon emission. So this is low capex solution because we use the existing vehicle. There is no expensive component in our device, low maintenance, and also it is very easy to install, less than a day. And it will ensure fast adoption. Fast adoption because we rely on the existing infrastructure, so no need to wait decades for new fueling stations to be built. So how it works, basically, that we connect our kit to the truck's exhaust pipes, and we use the heat at the exhaust that we fully recover to run our capture machine. And then we use turbo compressor that will liquefy the CO2. So basically, in 2 words, we capture the CO2 selectively when it is in gaseous form, and we turn it into a liquid to monetize afterwards. So the team behind the solution, Masoud and Yves, have several experience in entrepreneurship because they co-founded and they scaled up some startup. On my side, I was developing a floating solar technology, and we are backed by EPFL, so École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, and our advisory board, François, Shivam, and Fabien. So we see our solution first at the fastest to deploy at large scale. And then, in the long-term perspective, we see our solution as complementary to hydrogen and electric, where it is too difficult and too costly to deploy. Maybe last word, 5 seconds. So we are looking for a pre-seed to finance our 16 next month financing. We have already verbal commitment, and it will help us in building some infield pilots and also to increase our team. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to have one more pitch, and then we'll have time for Q&A. So next up, we've got the Ponera Group, who create smart, modular, reusable industrial packaging, who I see you've got on the stage with you. So take it away.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. At Ponera Group, we transform waste in freight logistics into intelligent assets. Today, in industries such as machine manufacturing, furniture manufacturing, we have the problem that the goods are coming in many different sizes with many different specifications, and therefore custom-sized wooden crates are used for the transport. These custom-sized wooden crates cost 5 to 6 times more than the standard pallet per square meter, and they have the second problem that they're used once and thrown away. This leads to very low sustainability, and finally is one of the key bottlenecks to digitizing our supply chains. The problem is a $17 billion problem globally. And it's estimated that approximately 30% of all the industrial wood consumed in the market is used for the production of pallets and crates. 40% of these are used once and thrown away. One step deeper, only 20% of that wood, which is used for one-way transport, is recycled. So from there, we analyzed the problem and came up with the Ponera solution. We have a fully modular industrial packaging solution with modules of different sizes, which can each be interconnected in 4 different directions, like a Lego. Very efficient design for stackability, takes up very little space during warehousing and reverse logistics, and fully produced with recycled and fully recyclable polymer material. As you can see, like a Lego, in 5 seconds can be assembled and deassembled. And this allows us to transform our industries from linear business models to circular business models for large machines up to 15 tons. This allows us to reduce 95% wood consumption, approximately 90% of CO2 emissions on average, up to 90% reduction in cost for our clients. And finally, thanks to the circular economy, we can, for the first time, provide our clients with an efficient and effective circular solution which can be efficiently digitized. We have gained strong traction in the past few years. We have multiple multinational companies and leading industrial packaging clients. So we're looking to further commercialize in Europe, and we're also fundraising for our seed round. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now it's time for the Q&A, so we can dig a little bit deeper into some of the solutions. So I want to invite you all back onto the stage. We've only got 8 minutes. We'd love to hear a question for every one of our solutions. So I'll ask you to keep your questions and your answers as brief as possible. So who would like to start us off with a question?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, first question for you, Ponera. And so far, how much have you sold of these?
Yep. So we have begun working with 6 multinational companies, and we're now going into implementation with 5 of them. We expect to surpass the 1 million Swiss franc in revenue this year with committed sales.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. For Miivo Mobility, how do you plan to differentiate from applications like Transit or City Mapper? Yeah, that's basically my question.
Okay. Our idea of differentiation is basically based right now in the gamification system. We've seen that gamification has had really strong results in terms of engagement and user engagement, and none of Transit, City Mapper, Google Maps, or other competitors have that specific component. And on the other hand, we want to differentiate from a really strong visual identity based on 3D images to detach our youth and our passion from the very beginning, that I think that it's currently not available in many interfaces and user experience base. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so here's a question that goes out to Swobbee. There we go. What does a minimum infrastructure look like in terms of when does it make sense to have enough supply and demand in a local context?
Yeah, thanks for that question. So in Berlin, we have our most dense network with roughly 15 stations, and we assume that we need to have a station every 1.5 kilometers radius to actually gain that coverage. But it depends a lot on the utilization, of course. You know the kick scooters of Tier, for example. We fit 20 of these batteries in one of our stations, and they're swapped in one go. So we take all these factors into account, but generally for the driver to make the deviation, it shouldn't be longer than 1.5 kilometers away. Yeah.
Question for Theo from Qaptis. Does the solution work also for buses and coaches?
Yes.
And do you have already some feedback from existing customers of your technology?
Yes, thanks for your question. So yes, it works for any types of internal combustion engine. So today for cars, electric goes well. So that's why we focus on heavy duty trucks. So today we have our own prototype, and then we are working with one multi-billion company in agricultural machine, so for tractors, and we can easily adapt our system to such engine, like for example tractors, building machine also. We have potential upcoming project here, so we are in the stage of developing this pilot for those industries.
A question for Swobbee. You mentioned 2 business models. How do you plan the balance between those 2 business models in the future?
Yeah. So currently we do 70% battery as a service and 30% charging as a service. In the future we want to focus more on battery as a service because that's actually when we can achieve those network effects by battery sharing with the overhead being on Swobbee's side. That's what we want to focus on, and it also makes it easier to recycle those batteries if they're all centrally managed, and we can move that cost away from the customer, who can focus on expanding instead of buying all those batteries and spare batteries. Yeah.
Another question for Ponera. Is Lego one of your customers?
Thanks for the question. No, not yet. Our beachhead market are large machine manufacturers, industrial equipment. So we have in the automotive industry and in the large machine industry our key focus for the time.
Okay, so here's a question to Popion. Do I pronounce that correctly?
Popion, yes.
Yeah, Popion.
Yes.
So what does your ideal customer at this stage looks like? What is your ideal entry market?
It's a commercial fleet of 25 to 50 vehicles, medium and heavy duty regional transportation.
And regional means kilometer-wise?
Those would be applications of up to 500 kilometers. No.
Another quick question for Popion.
Mm-hmm.
For the retrofit of the thermal engine into electric, where do you stand in terms of product development and homologation of the conversion kits?
So we are starting in California. We are a Silicon Valley company, and California, as you know, is very, let's say, incentivizes a lot, innovation. So we are developing a prototype with municipalities in particular. One application of the heavy-duty battery swapping system is, of course, for municipal fleets, which will also provide one thing which is very important for them over there, but for any community potentially, is resilience, because you essentially have an energy storage system which is mobile. And when the grid fails, which happens every year in California and in the Northeast, this is very important.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We've got a couple of minutes left. It would be great to hear a question for every
One
solution.
question for Qaptis. What percentage of the price of a truck represents your kit represents, and does its financing can include CO2 credits?
So what we do now is that we offer a leasing model if we are financed for a leasing model. So basically it will be more or less, let's say, 5 to 10% of the buying cost, the upfront cost. And then what we do is that we monetize the CO2. We can either issue carbon credit or we can sell directly to industries for use, and we split with these revenues.
Yeah, but you take a part of it.
We take part of it. It's part of our revenue stream. Yeah.
All right, we've got 1 minute left. I think we haven't had a question from me. No, you did have a question. There's so many people up here. If you've got a final question, go ahead.
Yeah, but maybe, for Miivo.
Yeah.
Can you quantify the increase in the engagement of your users in Valencia so far?
Yeah, so far we've grown 50% each month, as we are only operating for 2 months. We saw a huge increase in the beginning because there was a lot of engagement from the 3 Fs, what we call Friends, Family and Food. But then we saw a huge increase again during April and May, which took us to 800 users right now.
All right, this brings us to the end of our Q&A session. Thank you all so much. Big round of applause for all who pitched. Thanks for the great questions, the great answers. You can always chat more later on as well, but we've got more to come. So I'll grab this. You guys can move to the networking area, and we're straight on to the next round of pitches right now with Urban Radar, who help cities decarbonize urban freight through smart planning.
Thank you. So basically building on the previous companies who want to tackle how logistics can decarbonize, the way Urban Radar looks at it is through planning. So what we focus on is how to bring technology into planning for planning companies as well as cities. Because as part of my career when I was working as a consultant for cities, what I realized is
cities or planners don't know how to use the data that are available and are still making planning decision, regulation, policy decision nearly blind. So how can we change this and consequently reduce the impact of logistics? So what we did, we also started actually in San Francisco. Now we're headquartered in France. We have consolidated a team of experts coming from planning, cities, smart city technology, as well as AI, to develop our solutions. And we have 3 products because, here we go, 3 products. One product looks into helping the planners understand how logistics behaves in a way in logistics centers. So basically, if I give an example of what we do in Paris region, we help Paris region understand for each activity zone the numbers of trucks coming in and out, origin, destination. And from this understanding, you have a whole lot of decisions that are made by the planners. It can be about developing new infrastructure, updating policies. It can be about changing the way you run the cleaning of the areas, but as well where to locate recharging stations and so on. Then the second product is about last mile, and it's all about the curb. It's all about how can we better understand the use of the curb by logistics companies so that we mitigate double parking, we mitigate trucks running or circling around to find a spot. And through that, our solutions digitalize the curbs and provide a way for truck companies to understand the regulation and understand how to operate more efficiently. And the third product, Citizen Need, is about how to understand the location of multiple social functions in the city. So it's like the 15-minute city, so that cities and planners can better plan. We work in 6 countries already. We have I would say, so as part of our team, we have a look forward of 6 to 12 months, and we're going to raise funds by the end of the year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Next up, we have REVOLVE Air Wheelchair, the world's first active wheelchair that fits in the standards of a universal cabin. All right. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much.
For you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andrea Mocellin, founder and inventor of REVOLVE Air, the wheelchair in a new form. The first question is, why do we need to change the form of a wheelchair? If you are a wheelchair user, traveling is a constant struggle. You need large cars where to store the bulky wheelchair. You need to check in the wheelchair before each flight. You need constant assistance along the journey. REVOLVE aimed to cut by 50% the time that a wheelchair user spends along the journey. Means you can drive any type of car available. You don't need to check in the wheelchair before the flight, and you can reach destination with any taxi, making the user much more independent. How can we achieve this technology? The idea is to have the world's first active wheelchair suitable as cabin luggage inside the cabin of an airplane by saving 60% more space when the wheelchair is folded, thanks to the 2 foldable wheels which collapse with the backrest and the seat together, making it, again, saving 60% through the patented mechanism. The project is being also developed not only for aviation as a carry-on luggage, but also for any type of public and private transportation, means trains, cars, and everything that is moving basically through the cities and outside the cities. The project is being self-financed until last year, where I was presented the project to a LinkedIn post, and it received millions of feedbacks from medias all around the world, different awards from Red Dot Award, Innovation of the Year by the wheelchair community in the USA, Time Magazine Best Invention 2021. But most importantly, we gained up of 12,000 wheelchair users, aiming and asking to have this product as early adopters. Those people are travelers, are influencers, are athletes, are pilots. They do amazing life, but you have to travel, and they need to travel in a much more easy way. So for them, this is a game changer. We want to compete with the foldable wheelchair market, but don't forget, we are saving 60% more space with respect to competitors. Means that actually we are creating a new sort of market which we want to enter in an innovative way as well. Through a limited edition wheelchair, going to be manufactured through our business partners using F1 technology between the Netherlands and the UK, and scaling up the business model to a global wheelchair, which is going to be reaching the market in 2024 worldwide. The team is growing. I'm the founder and inventor, but along myself, Francesco joined with a Formula 1 background, and Enco Pesi with partner and advisor. And we work along Toyota Accelerator and Allianz in the way to work on testing and business scale model. Again, we want to work with inclusion, accessibility, and education to bring forward this project worldwide. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for your time. Perfect, thank you. Okay, next up we have Motto, a premium e-bike subscription with concierge service. Welcome to the stage. Take it away.
So how does it work?
You can just click the...
Okay. Hi, I'm the co-founder and COO of Motto, an e-bike subscription service. Oh, sorry. At Motto, we strongly believe that in order for people to switch from current mobility to electric micromobility, people must create commuting habits. I'm sure that we all agree and we all know that the micromobility market is huge. McKinsey is calculating the market on 2030 to be around $500 billion in Europe and in the US. And still, we think that there's a lot of frictions to access this electric mobility. An e-bike in France today is 2.5K on average. It's a lot of money. There's friction to maintain, and there's a lot of frictions to protect. On the other hand, if you use free-floating services, it's not trustable nor reliable. That's where Modo comes in. We launched an e-bike subscription model that allows any of our users to get the latest e-bike on the market, service that includes maintenance, insurance, and theft management, and everything is for only 75 euros per month. Those are our own bikes. We designed them with our team in Amsterdam, and we went in only 6 months from 100 bikes in Paris to 500 today, and we're going to double this fleet this summer. We're a team of former mobility people. Among our team, we count people from Bird, Uber, Lime, Cowboy, and many other great companies. We are now in the phase where we're expanding the business. We currently have 300 users in Paris moving away with our motos. We are planning to double that number end of June, and to add in September more markets. We're planning to launch new French cities and more vehicles. As you can see, we want to expand and to try many different multimodal configurations, such as the mobility, the courier bike, and the moped. We are planning on expanding internationally next year. You are all welcome to come try our bikes in Le Marais in Paris, or to plan a demo directly at your home or your office anytime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we have TaxyMatch, a car pooling on demand. Share a taxi with other passengers with similar trips and interests. TaxyMatch. Ready to go?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, mesdames et messieurs, I'm very happy to be with you today. I'm expecting you to share a nice moment. And what if we share something else? I expect some of you took a cab to come here from the airport, and what you notice is that you're queuing to go to the same direction. And what if you share your taxi or Uber, for example, to help to have a better price, a reduction of CO2, a better raise for the driver, and a better CO2 emission. This is something that we deliver with a special algorithm that puts together the passenger who has a same direction and same interests. This is how it looks. Screen is a bit small, but the idea is that we give the possibility to passengers to share their trip. It's not an obligation, it's an option. And we also show the impact of CO2 they could have if they were alone in the taxi or when they share it compared to public transport. It's transforming the private transport into qualified shared mobility with the POI technology. What is this? POI is point of interest. It's the technology that will set up the possibility to share the taxi. Can give an example. If you want to share a taxi with TaxyMatch, you need to go to or from a place with a lot of people. That makes sense. Because if you go to a place where no one goes, how you will be able to share your drive? It's not possible. Like this, you have more chance to share your drive with other passengers. We don't create frustration, and we will make more money for the driver, for the passenger, and better impact for the environment. That also will give better positive impact in the trip. I mean, for example, you're in China, you want to go out, and you can share your car, your taxi with other participants of the event. Some people say it's clever. Some people say, no, you only give the option of sharing when there's a lot of people, it's to make money. Like the thing is, the more you share, the more you make money. This is what is nice. We don't create frustration with TaxyMatch. We offer the possibility to share whenever it's possible. And it's also possible to have business or convivial moments into the taxi with the other participants. The main case we have, it's with companies or also with students coming out at night when they need to go back home. There is no public transport. It's safe and it's economical and ecological. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. You can give that to me. Thank you. All right, everybody, we've got one more solution to pitch, and then we're going to have another round of Q&A with our jury. So our final solution for the mobility session this morning is OBW Street Style, an innovative, intelligent parking solution. Welcome to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So, in Europe, every hour, 300 bikes are sold. So, today, we have a lot of electric bikes were sold, like trottinette too, electric trottinette, and you have many problems for the parking and the recharge. So, here is our solution, the Urban Smart Eco Park, with each is a locker for recharging all your electric equipment. As you can see on this image, you have our solution with different size of cases for different type of mobility. This solution is a full complete solution with many options. It's a secure solution because you have individual lockers. You can recharge it with. We can recharge it. We have a customer system of reservation that I will present later, and we have an option for the renewable energy. So the first innovation is the system of reservation. The client just come in front of the locker and have to book a place inside the platform. But you can also just use a code or RFID badge if you want to give a free service. You can pay with a card of coin. It depends on what you want to give. The second one is the autonomous solar version. So we have the first option is to plug the locker on the public electric resort, or you can use a photovoltaic panel with a lithium battery for dispose the locker in a other part of the city, like the road or inside or outside. Today the battery are in lithium, but we want to develop a hydrogen battery. So as I said, you can buy the solution and give a free service to your customer, or you can use it to gain money. So it is a source of profit with the system of reservation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we now have, you can stay here because it's time for the Q&A. So I want to invite all of our pitchers to come back onto the stage, and we'll have another quick 8 minutes to ask some questions, hear some answers, dig a bit more into the solutions, and of course, if you don't have all your questions answered, you can always continue chatting afterwards. So, who would like to start us off this time?
I have a question for Urban Radar. You mentioned 3 different products. Are those product services targeted to same kind of actors or different kind of actors? Speaking of threat, urban, and citizen.
Yeah, so it's thank you for the question. So it's for 3 similar typology of clients, which because a planner will work. So a planner working in the private sector will work on all of these topics as part of his urban or transportation planning work. And for public sector clients, it's the same typology because it's going to be municipalities or even at regional level. So the answer is yes.
I have a question for TaxyMatch. Actually, I love the idea, and one of my best friends was met on a taxi this way.
Okay, that's nice.
Did you have do you have already some feedback from existing customers?
Yes, of course.
And do you partner with other existing taxi companies?
Yes, we have about the drivers. We can have direct partnerships, and we can also work with drivers from other platforms. And when I mean drivers direct, it can be one-to-one, but it can be as well like syndicates. So group of taxi or group of like VTC or like cabs.
Okay. Maybe you partner with airlines and train companies as well for the journey before?
This is the goal. It means it makes sense to work with such companies like airlines, train companies, airports, like everything that goes with mobility. Yes.
Cool. So I just follow the line now. So here's a question now to Moto. So can you tell me, you say 75 euros is your subscription. So how do you plan to be cheaper than your competition?
So our price is 75 euros per month. We are currently cheaper at price with our competition, except for Veligo in Paris, for those who know the service. Obviously, Veligo is it's hard to compete with as they benefit from public money. But from a competition standpoint, we are on the same level as them. The only way for us to lower the price is to launch with commitment offer, because currently this one is commitment free.
So what does that mean, commitment?
So it's you basically you rent monthly and you can give us back the bike whenever you want.
Thank you. Question for Revolve Air Wheelchair. First thing is a comment is congratulations for your project and the presentation, which was absolutely very clear to me, I think. Very great.
I appreciate.
So my question would be, how could you accelerate when I look at your last slide and the plan, and what are you missing and what are you looking for?
Well, thanks for the question. I mean, it's been until now a self-finance project, so everything is being done with private investment in a few weeks, we're going to start the fundraising campaign to understand how fast we can run from the limited edition to the global market, or jumping directly to the global market. That depends by the feedback from investors. So that depends also what is going to be the price of the final product. So we have an engineering team on board. We are partnering with the manufacturer companies as well. So it's just a matter to understand how much capital we can raise to run as fast as possible to democratic price. That's the objective number one. Second one is to run POCs more and more. So we're going to run POCs with the airlines, with Toyota, with the airports, then to even fine-tune all the details that we have to finalize in this moment. As the product is a prototype, in the prototype stage, I need to be certified before entering the market. Thank you.
Thanks. And to finish the line, question to BW, what is the pain that you're solving and what is your target audience?
So the pain is that when you have a bike and you want to go at work or go do a shopping, you need somewhere to put your bike in security. And today electric bikes are really expensive, and with the amount of thieves, you cannot just put your bike on the street or in a bike parking because of the degradation, the ref, a lot of things. So the first thing that we solve the parking problem and also the recharging problem, because for example, if you want to recharge your bike inside when you are at work, you cannot put your bike in your office for recharge it, or your electric scooter inside the office for recharge it.
Okay, thanks. And so let's go back. Question to Moto. I saw that your offer is eligible for reimbursement from the employers. Do you already have B2B customers?
So we do not do B2B. Our main target is B2C because we believe that B2B sales cycles are way too long based on our business. So we need to go fast. We need to scale the fleet fast, and B2C is the way to do that. We do have partnerships with companies that sponsor our bikes, but it comes from the employees, not from us.
A question for Urban Radar. So you have mentioned different use cases, and my question would be, in order to scale and to go from which is closer to small consulting projects to scale your revenues, have you identified from the many potential use cases the really killer applications or use cases that will generate recurring revenues from urban planners or even from mobility operators?
So we're I would say yes and no, because we are obviously still working on it. Have we find the killer use case yet? I would say not yet, but we're definitely circling around it, and especially as we specialized in logistics and we build a reputation both with cities, planners. We have about as well 60 partnerships. So as we build a reputation in the industry, we go towards targeting very precisely the pain points. And we need multiple use cases because the logistic chain is fairly complex. So everybody look at it from a different angle. But our technology, it's not a problem for our technology.
And building on that, who are you planning to sell to on the city side, and how?
Very quick answer, because we need to wrap up in just a moment. Thank you.
So the overall plan is to sell to planning firms because they provide distribution. On the city side, typically we deal with economic development people. So we look at the politics. There's a political agenda on one side, and then we look at the economic development people who then bring towards all their other functions of the city.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your fantastic answers, for the great questions, to our audience for being here with us, and a huge round of applause to all of the solutions for pitching, but also for striving to make our world a better place. It's been a great morning. We've heard from so many incredible solutions, and we're going to take a break now for an hour, and then we'll be back after lunch with more pitches. So we'd love to see you later on. Have a great lunch break now as well. And thanks so much for being here. Bye-bye.